I'm Dr. Lisa Barkley, Assistant Dean for Diversity and Inclusion at UCF College of Medicine, and we are with our speakers from today's Central Florida Diversity Learning Series session. So thank you both for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our first question is, can you talk about how gender identity has really changed in our world and in our workplace?
There's so much broader definition in diversity and inclusion, in gender identity, gender expression. They're separating out gender identity from gender expression, from biological sex, and from sexual orientation. When did you decide your gender?
I feel like I never decided.
You never decided? It was told to you? Some folks maybe who have your similar or future profession said, you are this. And the human resource departments, the different groups are starting to understand how these, while complementary facets of diversity, but very different, really play out in the corporate workforce.
How do we create a work culture that is more inclusionary for people with different gender identities?
You know, quite simply, it's all about education. Knowing transgender people, being more educated in the field of transgender inclusion, and then understanding the transgender journey. I think that's critical in the fact that a lot of people don't understand what's all involved in this, perhaps in many cases, lifelong journey to become your authentic self.
How do you recognize when you're communicating in a way that's not inclusionary?
Well, I think it's taking a real hard look around at the assets and the items that are within the organization's culture. And I also think it's how do you look at the inclusivity with people who are part of the culture, how do they feel? What's their engagement? What is their feeling on working? What's their level of pride? Do they understand the current issues that are happening? Those are good barometers to say we are being inclusive, or maybe we need some opportunity to improve in that area.
Many of us have little or no experience interacting with people who consider themselves gender neutral or gender queer. So we say nothing and then remaining silent, we really may come off as being exclusionary. So what advice can you have for us?
So the silence, while it may seem exclusionary, is bred from simply a lack of understanding and defining that very category. What does it mean to be genderqueer? And even within the community, people that identify as genderqueer define themselves differently. So we talk about our infamous genderbread person. Has anybody seen this before? So important thing to note here is even though we're made up of all these different components, gender is a pervasive element of who we are. And for a great extent, even though it's so strong and important to us, we don't even think about it unless you're transgender. And then you think about it every day.
We might not know everything. Is it okay, and this goes to any single diversity group that's out there, is it okay to ask those questions? And I think if you're creating a culture that embraces that open-mindedness and that seeking of knowledge like a university should, I think it's a fantastic opportunity, and people will give you that pass to say, you know what, you asked the question, thank you for that, let me take that opportunity to educate you on this issue.
What would you like the UCF College of Medicine to take away from today's educational event?
Nothing is worse than silence, and one of the biggest fears of the transgender community is social isolation. So people engaging with transgender people, yes, there's going to be mistakes made, but engage, ask questions, be open, and help the community to help themselves in normalizing their existence.
I also think too that it's not being that silent colluder, that when you hear people saying the wrong things, is having the courage to say, wait a minute, that's not how it's supposed to be here, that's not the culture I want to be a part of, nor the one that I think we want to instill upon our students. So having not only my own personal intent, but also being that defendant for those people who maybe aren't doing it the right way as they should.
thank you so much for being here today and giving such an excellent educational experience to us at the College of Medicine.
Thank you.
Thank you, we enjoyed it.